All right, last block of the show. Last time we'll talk NFL football with these guys until 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yep.
What up, Reed? What up, Jeff? What up, Adam? Thanks for coming back, guys.
Well, they did not actually have a choice in that matter.
No.
We're rolling with some NFL over-under, a rookie edition. So quarterback Sam Darnold of the Jets, back-to-back 19 fantasy point performances, facing Minnesota this week. So does he go over or under 19 this week, Adam?
Under. I'm going to say that Darnold's going to struggle a little bit this week. Look, he's put up decent numbers against two teams that are in shambles right now defensively, the Broncos and the Colts. The Colts couldn't stop me and Reed and anyone else you want to kind of throw out there right now at this point. So I don't trust Darnold. They don't trust Darnold. He's not throwing the ball a ton. I don't like the weapons he has at receiver. I don't like the matchup against Minnesota. I think he'll make a few mistakes. They'll try to control the clock and the ball and keep it away from Kirk Cousins with Crowell. So to me, I'll go under 19 points for Darnold this week.
He's $4,900. Reed, what do you think? Over or under 19?
Yeah, I think he goes over here, and I agree with Adam and all of his points that the matchup looks on paper that it's pretty tough. Minnesota's defense is stout, obviously, but we've seen them give up multiple touchdown games to Josh Allen, Carson Wentz, and Jared Goff. Look, Darnold isn't the latter of the two, but I think he's a little better than Josh Allen. That game, again, was a little bit of an anomaly where he rushed for 2 and he ran for 1. And he passed for 1. But you look at Darnold, he has to, right? He has to throw a multiple touchdown game. He's only averaging about 19 completions and about 225 yards. And so with that being said, you're going to have to be highly efficient. I think he does target Jermaine Kearse, and that's really where you attack this Minnesota defense in the slot. So 19 points, I think he gets over this.
Yeah, Jeff, Minnesota has had its struggles, defending the pass. So
Indeed.
Do you think he's going to go over 19 this week?
I mean, I think if you're looking at this, you have to take the under. Sam Darnold's sort of ceiling looks like it's probably only about 20 or 21 points. And yeah, Minnesota's given up a few big games, but again, Reed alluded to it. It's the Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. Sam Darnold is not in the same realm as those two players. So I think a more likely scenario is that, he's limited to 200 yards or just over. And maybe he gets 2 touchdowns and maybe he creeps up to 19. But I think if you're looking for a cheap quarterback, I'd rather go with CJ Beathard. And you can make the talent comparisons all you want. I don't really care. It's more the matchup. The Rams are higher pace. They're going to force more throwing. And I've just given up more fantasy points to the quarterback position lately. So, I'm not really big on Darnold, is what I'm trying to say.
All right. No, I was able to pick up on that one.
Yeah, we got that.
Reed, I'm going to let you start with this next one. I know you're a huge fan of Saquon Barkley. He just put up more than 40 DK fantasy points against the Eagles. Now faces an Atlanta defense that surrendered 20 points to Peyton Barber. So over under 30 DK fantasy points for Barkley this week. I mean, he made a $1,500 jump, dude.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
I'm going to say under, not because of the talent, but 30 is pretty hard to achieve. Like you mentioned it. He hit it once. I mean, his floor is about 26, and so he's really close. I think he gets really close to that. But to say that someone could go over 30 DK fantasy points, he's got to have a pretty good game. I get it. Atlanta's third best for opposing running backs, giving up about 34 DK fantasy points. And what you really like about Barkley is his safe floor in terms of receiving. He's getting 6 receptions for 60 yards on average. So you do like all of those things potentially to prove the over. But I do think this is a game for OBJ. We see Evan Ingram come back. They have a lot of weapons, and Atlanta's really deficient in covering the receivers, the tight ends, and everything in between. So I do think this offense gets spread around as opposed to just focusing on Saquon, which we saw when he had that big game. So under.
Yeah, Jeff, Thursday night was the first time he had cracked, it looks like 28 fantasy points, 29 fantasy points, went for 40 plus. Can he go over or under 30? Which one is he going to land at?
Oh, this is the easiest over in the history of overs. I mean, let's go through what the Atlanta Falcons have given up to opposing running backs.
Okay.
Jay Ajayi, 2 touchdowns. Gio Bernard, 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 14 receptions, 102 yards. Alvin Kamara, 15 receptions, 124 yards. Eli Manning doesn't throw past the line of scrimmage anymore. Saquon Barkley is going to get a ton of volume in this matchup. I don't know, unless Atlanta just decides to put all 12, 13, 15 players on the field and just tackle him every time he moves or something. I just don't see how he doesn't have another monster game. That is terrible. Peyton Barber went off against them last week. No, it's an easy over.
Maybe the league will consider allowing the Atlanta defense to play with 12 or 13 players this week. Who knows?
Or 14 or 15.
Yeah, or 14 or 15. I mean, come on. That's not happening. Adam, is it going to happen? Over 30
No.
DK fantasy points? No, it's not, because Jeff made it sound like it's going to be super de-duper easy.
No. Is it going to be a layup and the easiest question we have here tonight? Absolutely not. Do I think he'll have a big game against this terrible Falcons defense? Absolutely. But at the same time, with everything going on in that giant locker room where everyone is already throwing Eli Manning under the bus in terms of not throwing the ball deep, not getting Shepard involved, Ingram possibly back, I'm expecting it, as Reed said, a big game from OBJ, Shepard, and Ingram. If not, Eli's going to continue to hear it in the locker room. He's going to be continued to be talked about day in and day out in New York radio here in New York. For me, Barkley's going to have a nice night. He's going to get 6 or 7 catches. He's probably going to go over 100 yards. But is he going to get 30 points? He hasn't gone over 30 yet. To me, they try to focus and get the attention back on OBJ. You heard what the owner said yesterday, that he wanted OBJ to make the statements on the field in terms of his play, not with the statements off the field. I just think it's too much right now in that locker room. I don't trust anything going on there, especially if you're going to tell me Barkley has to go over 30. So I'm with Reed on this one.
All right, guys, New England's Sony Michel has delivered at least 18 fantasy points in each of his last 3 games. Does he go over or under that mark against the Bears, Jeff?
I think he goes under. I mean, the Bears defense, I know they obviously had a bit of a misstep last week, but they've been good against opposing running backs this year. They've been really good, actually. I think everyone wants to talk about their pass rush, but they've really been forcing teams into the pass and then taking advantage of them with their pass rush by stopping the run. So I think the Patriots obviously have developed a very good running game with Sony Michel, but at the same time, I don't think Sony Michel is so good that he's going to overcome every single bad matchup on the slate. I look at this more as a Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Josh Gordon type game. That's who's been burning the Bears. I mean, they got burned by Brock Osweiler of all people with the pass last week. And I think that could happen again. I think Tom Brady could have a big night. I'll say under, I guess, is the answer to that question.
All right, Reed, we got to move you along kind of quickly. We're running out of time. Over or under 18 fantasy points?
Yeah, I'm going to say under for Sony. I think if there's one person in that backfield that could do it, it's James White. Like Jeff alluded to, you attack these through the receiving game, and James White is that hybrid guy. Like Chicago is coming back, too, from a short week. Again, humid in Florida. I talked about it. That was an exhausting overtime game, so I'm going to say under.
Adam, over or under?
Same exact reason. I have my Patriots pom-poms out, but I'm going to go under, and I think exactly what Reed said. This has James White written all over it. Short passes out of the backfield, going deep to Josh Gordon. I don't think Michel's going to have – I bet he finds the end zone, but to go over 19, I just don't see that this week. Or 18, whatever it was.
All right, guys, not enough time